In this video, I'm going to show you the figure 8 cast-on for toe-up socks. This is the easiest toe-up cast-on to do, and it requires the least amount of memorization. So if you're new to toe-up socks, or you're new to knitting in general, this is probably going to be the easiest cast-on for you to do. So, let's get started. This cast-on, as all of them do, begins with a slip knot. You don't have to leave a long tail for this one because all of the action is from the working yarn. Put the slip knot over your needle. You're going to want to hold both ends of the needle, or if you're using DPNs, the two DPNs with the points facing to your right. And now you take the working yarn, go behind and over the bottom, behind and over the top needle, and back into the middle. And you simply repeat that process until you have as many stitches cast on as you'd like. Most socks will have 8, 10, or 12 stitches cast on in the toes. In this case, I'm going to do 10. So that means 10 loops around each needle. And now you're ready to begin knitting. Because you put the slip knot on the top needle, the last stitch to cast on is on the bottom, which means your working yarn goes right back to the top. And get ready to work across the top. If you're using DPNs, this is when you grab a spare DPN and begin working. With this cast on, you always want to knit into the back loop of each one of the stitches. That'll keep them tight and keep them from actually unraveling themselves. So you knit into the back loop of each stitch. Now what'll happen is you'll get a little cross. Basically it almost looks like a twisted stitch running along the toe seam. But otherwise it looks just like plain stockinette. Then you flip around. If you're using magic loop, you just pull one needle out and push it back in the other side. Get ready to knit along the other side. And again, you want to knit into the back loop. If you knit into the front of the loop on this, you'd end up with 2 twists and you'd have some funny looking stuff there on your toe. So you want to knit into the back on both sides. If you're using DPNs, on this side, which would most likely be your heel side, you would want to knit half of your stitches onto one DPN and half onto a second DPN. And there is the figure 8 toe-up cast-on. You may want to go back in with another needle, maybe a few rows in, and tighten up the stitches a little bit. This one does tend to be a little bit wide, so if you do find that you're having this kind of stretched look in your toes, you can either tighten it up at the end or cast on using a smaller needle than you're going to use for the rest of your sock. At this point, you can begin your sock as usual, increasing in the toe by simply starting your next round.